Nobody told you that the system designed to help you pay off your student loans might actually be designed to keep you paying forever. Welcome to the quiet scandal hiding inside your repayment plan, where the fine print costs more than the degree itself. Right now, over 43 million Americans are carrying student loan debt, and a shocking number of them are enrolled in repayment plans they don't fully understand. We're talking about people making payments every single month, watching their balances go up, and wondering why the math never seems to work in their favor. Here's the engine running under the hood. Income-driven repayment plans were sold to us as the compassionate option, the safety net, the "we've got you" from the federal government. But what they quietly do is stretch your loan term out to 20 or 25 years. And during that time, interest is doing what interest does best, compounding with zero remorse. Think of it like a treadmill set, just slow enough that you feel like you're making progress, but fast enough that you never actually get anywhere. You're moving, you're sweating, you're exhausted, and yet somehow the finish line is still 20 years away. Remember back when public service loan forgiveness was announced and everyone in a nonprofit or government job thought they finally caught a break? Fast forward to the early years of the program's eligibility window, and the approval rate was hovering around 1%, which is less a safety net and more a trapdoor. The psychological toll of this is real, and financial psychologists will tell you that debt that feels unpayable changes how people make decisions for decades. You stop investing, you delay buying a home, you say no to risk because you already feel like you're losing, even when technically you're in repayment. History rhymes here though. And if you look at the subprime mortgage era, you'll see a familiar pattern. Complicated products, buried fees, and borrowers who signed on the dotted line without a translator. The difference is that student loans can't be discharged in bankruptcy, which makes them arguably the most predatory financial instrument a 22-year-old can legally agree to. The misconception we need to kill right now is that a lower monthly payment means you're winning. A lower payment often means more interest accruing, a longer term, and potentially a tax bomb at the end if your forgiven balance gets counted as income in the year it's discharged. You didn't dodge a bullet, you just rescheduled it. The other trap nobody mentions is capitalized interest, which is when unpaid interest gets added to your principal balance, and then that new, higher number starts generating its own interest. It's interest on interest, which sounds like a math problem but feels like a punch to the gut every time you log into your loan servicer's website. So what do you actually do with this information? First, run your numbers through the loan simulator on studentaid.gov and compare every plan side by side, not just the monthly payment column, but the total amount paid column. That number on the right is the one that tells the real story. Second, if you're on an income-driven plan and you can afford to pay more than your required payment, do it. Throw the extra directly at principal because your servicer won't do that automatically unless you tell them to. Discipline here isn't about being aggressive, it's about being intentional because the system is built on the assumption that you won't pay attention. The broader lesson from every financial cycle, whether we're talking about mortgages, credit cards, or student loans, is that complexity is almost always in the lender's favor and simplicity is almost always in yours. The more confusing a repayment product sounds in the brochure, the more carefully you should read the fine print with a cup of coffee and possibly a lawyer. At the end of the day, the borrowers who come out ahead aren't necessarily the ones who made the most money or had the highest paying degrees. They're the ones who understood the rules of the game they were already playing. Consistency, clarity, and a refusal to be passive about your own financial life are the only tools that actually work here. You don't have to be a victim of a system that wasn't designed with your best interest at heart, but you do have to decide to pay attention, ask better questions, and treat your loan repayment like the long-term financial strategy it actually is. Comfort doesn't come from hoping the government figures it out. It comes from knowing exactly where you stand and having a plan regardless of what changes next. And if you're ready to take that same disciplined, intentional mindset and put it toward building real wealth through real estate or home renovation, check out our links in the description below. We can help you connect with investors, contractors, and lenders who actually want to see you win.